Big Brother predictions.
She's cute. As you know, all change here at the top, and our new leader wants Big Brother to be a platform to find a cure for chronic illnesses. This year is multiple sclerosis, or MS. He wants top neurologists, sports scientists, nutritionists, HSCT specialists and nurses to all work together with a load of MS sufferers in the house and find a cure for MS.
Hello, Miss MS here. Nothing more than I love than stripping you of your independence and making you totally dependent on other people wherever possible. Slinging you in a wheelchair is the obvious scenario I prefer. Yeah, I mean, you could always go into the home, I guess. Would let us suffer in that wheelchair.
Hello, Harriet Hardcore here, always a pleasure. Just to say, who did the VP insert for the lady with MS, you know, with the mobility scooter and the stick? Why was the quote that you used that you can live a normal life with MS? You've missed the whole point of the series. The whole point of this series is to find a cure for MS. We want to show how dreadful it is, how she falls over, how she wets herself, how she's tired, how she can't see, can't hear, all her senses are going wrong, her mobility's going wrong, her aches and pains. We want to see the misery so that we can find a cure for MS and use this worldwide platform to gather haematologists, neurologists, surgeons, physios from all around the world to find a cure for MS. That's the whole point. So this is the crane that my partner has to use to get me out of bed every morning. The black hammock that you can see there wraps around me, suspends me in the air, and then plonks me into the wheelchair. We want to show the gritty reality of disability. The mini lift that she has to use to even be able to go to the toilet, can't even go to the toilet unaided, needs to use a mini lift. We want to see the overhead hammock that gets her out of bed every morning. We want to show how awful MS is for so many millions and millions of people.
Hello, Ms. MS here. Hi. As you know, I love me a little bit of toiletry. You, yes, you, over there. I'm going to give you such bad blood emergency whereby you can't get to the toilet quick enough. Probably because of your mobility issues. Classic me.
Why do I want a cure for MS? I feel that MS has had a detrimental effect on my life. I believe it's affected the quality of my life and my life expectations. I don't feel able to commit to having children or having a career. I suffer with intense fatigue. I sleep most of the time. I have problems with my mobility. I have problems with my right arm. Sometimes I have problems with my hearing, sometimes with my sight. If you Google MS symptoms, you will see the vast array of symptoms that people can have with MS. It's not just a question of, oh, you've got a bit of a gammy leg and a bit of a funny eye. There is a lot more to it than that.
As for you over there, I'm going to make you not be able to empty your bladder. Then you have to go to hospital with a really, really severe UTI. Classic me. And as for you, I'm going to give you a smorgasbord of bladder issues. You're welcome. You're going to not be able to empty your bladder because of your urethral tube being so fat you can't empty. But when you do empty, you're going to empty with a whoosh, as I'm also going to give you spasms in your bladder. Oh, best of both wicked worlds. You're welcome.
Cure for MS, cure for MS. That's what I want to hear. People chanting on eviction night outside the Big Brother house with placards, find a cure for MS, the drugs don't work, they just give us bad side effects, find a cure, they found a cure for AIDS, which was around in the 80s, let's find a cure for MS. Great big placards, lots of chanting every single eviction night. If disabled people can't get down there because they're too poorly, like me, can loved ones go down there with great big blown up photos of their loved ones and the reality, with a big photo of the reality of MS, the ugly reality of MS? Let's use this opportunity, guys. Let's get the world talking about and finding a cure for MS.
You can't help it that you walk like you're drunk. Yeah, it is quite alienating looking at everybody's crutch everywhere you go. Standing wheelchairs are a bit of a thing in some parts of the world. Set you back about 30 grand, eh?
When I first had MS, there weren't any disease-modifying drugs. There is a plethora of them now, and drug companies making lots of money, but all of them have very serious side effects. For instance, the last one I was on, serious side effects on my liver, of all things, and the one before that, serious side effects on my bladder. So all of these drugs seem to have some kind of side effect. They can be good for you physically, but then people have problems with their cognitive ability, or ones are good for your cognitive ability but not very good for your mobility, and it's just there's a whole gambit and wealth of them, but none of them are the cure for MS. There is not a cure for MS, and we need one. As you know, all change here at the top, and our new leader wants Big Brother to be a platform to find a cure for chronic illnesses. This year is multiple sclerosis, or MS. He wants top neurologists, sports scientists, nutritionists, HSCT specialists and nurses to all work together with a load of MS sufferers in the house and find a cure for MS. I think one of the main frustrations with having MS is whenever you do get to see a professional, they seem to, if you say, oh, I've got this wrong with me, that wrong with me, there are very few solutions, and you always get the head tilt and, oh, it's for MS and it is progressive. That's not terribly helpful. If something goes wrong with your body, you want to have solutions, which I recognise costs the NHS a few grand, but that's why we all pay our taxes when we are well. So when things do go wrong, there are cures for things, and also all of these are lotteries and charities that are meant to be funding and supporting MS sufferers. Do they really? I, for one, have never had a penny out of the MS Society or the MS Trust. They certainly haven't financed anything to help me. I don't think what people appreciate is how expensive it is if you are disabled. We couldn't get our workroom done because I owned the property, so we had to pay for that to be done. Best part of 20 grand. My standing wheelchair that I have are not available on the NHS, and the one available on the NHS kept sliding out because it didn't have any knee supports. Another 20 grand. My car, the mobility car scheme is absolute ripple, and you end up paying more out of your disability money than the car's actually worth, and even then it's not your car. At the end of it, you've only leased it. So we bought a car, another 20 grand. It's very, very expensive to be disabled here in the UK. If we found a cure, that would be amazing. Over the pandemic, there seems to have been a cutback on MS care, certainly within our trust. I have been taken off of my MS drug, but not offered a replacement because apparently there isn't one for my type of MS. So I'm absolutely terrified. I'm not on any disease-modifying drug. My MS nurse, he left over the pandemic. I phoned the MS hotline the other day and spoke to somebody who hardly spoke English and definitely couldn't answer my questions that I had, as they explained that they were new. My physio that I had for 25 years, she also left over the pandemic. She was brilliant and kept me mobile and kept me walking. Unfortunately, I now have an apprentice. As you know, all change here at the top, and our new leader wants Big Brother to be a platform to find a cure for chronic illnesses. This year is multiple sclerosis, or MS. He wants top neurologists, sports scientists, nutritionists, HSCT specialists and nurses to all work together with a load of MS sufferers in the house and find a cure for MS.